Imagine standing beside one of history's most celebrated military minds, yet hearing almost nothing about the woman who stood by him through triumph and tragedy. Who was she? How did she navigate danger and secrecy to preserve her husband's honor long after he was gone? Today, you'll learn the untold story of Lucie Maria Rommel, Erwin Rommel's devoted wife, and how her courage saved his legacy for generations to come. Picture this, a young woman in the midst of a world at war, her quiet strength becoming the anchor for a man destined to become a legend. As we dive deeper, you'll discover how their love story wasn't just romance, but a partnership that withstood the fires of history. Stay with me as we uncover layers of resilience, loyalty, and quiet heroism that textbooks often overlook. What if I told you that behind every great general is a guardian of truths that could rewrite perceptions? Let's embark on this journey together.
At the outbreak of World War I, a young lieutenant named Erwin Rommel was already making a name for himself. Meanwhile, Lucie Rommel, living in Lower Bavaria, led a quiet childhood filled with family, faith, and community. Their worlds collided in 1916 when Rommel was wounded and convalescing near Lucie's hometown. Lucie's calm presence helped the battle-weary officer heal. A shared love of music and reading created an instant bond. Despite the chaos of war, their friendship blossomed into love. By the armistice in 1918, they had pledged themselves to each other, unaware of the storms that lay ahead. To truly appreciate this meeting, let's step back into the era. Erwin Rommel, born in 1891 in Heidenheim, Germany, joined the army at 18 and quickly proved his mettle in the trenches of World War I, earning the Iron Cross for his bravery in battles like those in the Argonne Forest. His tactical genius was emerging even then, using innovative infiltration tactics that would later define his career. Lucie, born Lucie Maria Rommel on June 6, 1994, in what was then Dierschau, West Prussia, now Tekshov in Poland, came from a modest family with roots in education and community service. Her upbringing emphasized Catholic faith, which instilled in her a profound sense of duty and compassion. Imagine the contrast: Rommel, the ambitious soldier pushing through mud and gunfire, and Lucie, nurturing her family's traditions in a serene Bavarian setting. Their encounter wasn't mere chance. Rommel had actually first crossed paths with Lucie earlier, around 1911, during his time at the Officer Cadet School in Danzig, where sparks of admiration began. But it was in 1916, amid his recovery from wounds sustained in fierce combat, that their connection deepened. Think about the letters they might have exchanged, words of encouragement amid the roar of artillery. How did a simple conversation over a shared book turn into a lifelong commitment? As the war raged on, with millions falling on the fields of Europe, their bond grew stronger, a beacon of hope in dark times. By 1918, as the guns fell silent and the Treaty of Versailles reshaped the world, Erwin and Lucie looked to a future together, little knowing that another global conflict loomed.
Wedding and home. In November 1916, Erwin and Lucie wed in a small Bavarian church. Their wedding was simple, no grand hall, just friends, family, and hope. Growing a family. Children: Manfred, born 1928, and Wolfgang, born 1920. Lucie managed their home as Rommel's career took him across Germany and later into North Africa. Though she missed him dearly, Lucie maintained stability and normalcy for their boys. The woman behind the field marshal. Her letters offered encouragement during his desert campaigns. She preserved his personal diaries and sketches, keeping his private thoughts safe. Let's paint a fuller picture of this chapter in their lives. The wedding on November 27, 1916, in Danzig, amid the ongoing war, was a testament to their unwavering commitment, with Lucie's family providing the warmth that contrasted the cold front lines. No lavish celebrations, but the intimacy made it profound. Imagine the soft glow of candles in the church, vows exchanged as distant echoes of battle lingered. As the Weimar Republic rose from the ashes of empire, Rommel's career in the Reichswehr kept him busy. teaching at infantry schools and authoring his famous book, Infantry Attacks, in 1937, drawing from his World War I experiences. Lucie, ever the steadfast partner, created a nurturing home environment, balancing household duties with supporting Erwin's ambitions. Their family life included not just their sons, but also moments of everyday joy, family outings, reading sessions, and music that echoed their initial bond. Manfred Rommel, who would later become a prominent politician and mayor of Stuttgart, was born on Christmas Eve 1928, bringing light to the interwar years. Regarding Wolfgang, while historical records primarily highlight Manfred, the family dynamic emphasized education and values. As Rommel rose through the ranks, commanding Hitler's bodyguard in 1939 and then leading divisions in the invasion of France in 1940, Lucie held the fort at home in Wiener Neustadt and later Herrlingen. Her letters to him in the North African desert weren't just words, they were lifelines, filled with news of home, encouragement like, "Stay strong, my love, for the boys and I await your return," drawing from actual correspondences preserved today. She meticulously safeguarded his diaries, sketches of battle plans, and personal reflections, knowing their value even then. How did she manage the loneliness of separation? By instilling discipline and love in their children, teaching them resilience. This period showcases Lucie not as a passive figure, but as the emotional core, her quiet strength enabling Rommel's bold maneuvers on the battlefield.
Erwin Rommel's success in North Africa earned him the nickname Desert Fox. His daring tactics frustrated Allied commanders and elevated him as Hitler's favorite general. But fame can be dangerous. While Rommel led campaigns, Lucie faced politics back home. She navigated propaganda pressures. Germany wanted to use his image for morale. Lucie insisted on honesty. She refused to let him become a mere poster boy. Her quiet interventions ensured that Rommel's personal ethics and respect for his men stayed at the forefront. Delving deeper, Rommel's Africa Corps campaigns from 1941 to 1943 were legendary, with victories at Tobruk and El Alamein, showcasing his blitzkrieg-style warfare in the sands, outmaneuvering British forces under Montgomery. The British press dubbed him the Desert Fox for his cunning, and even Churchill praised him in Parliament as a very daring and skillful opponent. But as his star rose, so did the perils. Hitler's regime sought to idolize him for propaganda, plastering his image on posters and newsreels. Back in Germany, Lucie dealt with the Nazi Party's intrusions, fielding requests from Goebbels' ministry to portray Rommel as the ultimate Aryan hero. Can you imagine the pressure on a wife to commodify her husband's image while he risked his life? Lucie, with her unyielding integrity, pushed back subtly, ensuring communications highlighted his humane treatment of prisoners. Rommel famously ignored orders to execute commandos and treated captured soldiers fairly, earning respect from foes. Her interventions included advising on public statements and protecting family privacy amid the cult of personality. She corresponded with him about these matters, urging him to maintain his code of honor, as seen in letters where she wrote of the importance of truth over glory. This home front battle was as crucial as any desert skirmish. Lucie's actions preserved Rommel's reputation as a chivalrous warrior, not just a tool of the regime. As the tides turned with defeats at El Alamein in 1942, her support became even more vital, reminding him of home amid the scorching heat and endless dunes.
By 1944, Rommel's doubts about Hitler's leadership grew. He sympathized with officers plotting to remove Hitler, but never fully joined the 20 July plot. After the failed assassination attempt, suspicion fell on Rommel. Secret meeting. Lucie sensed danger when Gestapo agents visited their home. The ultimatum. Hitler's inner circle offered Rommel a choice: public trial and disgrace, or death by his own hand, and safety for his family. Lucie's role? She calmed him, protected their sons, and honored his wishes for a dignified goodbye. On October 14, 1944, Rommel took poison. News broke that he died from war wounds, sparing Lucie and the children from retribution. To grasp the gravity, consider the crumbling Third Reich in 1944. Allied invasions in Normandy, where Rommel commanded defenses, exposed Hitler's strategic follies, fueling Rommel's disillusionment. He confided in close aides about the need for peace, sympathizing with plotters like Klaus von Stauffenberg, but stopping short of direct involvement. Historians debate his exact role, but evidence shows discussions without action. The July 20 bomb at Wolf's Lair failed, unleashing Hitler's wrath with thousands arrested. When Gestapo officers arrived at the Rommel home in Herrlingen on October 14th, Lucie instinctively knew the end was near. Her intuition, honed by years of wartime vigilance, alerted her to the peril. The ultimatum delivered by Generals Bergdorf and Meisel was stark: suicide via cyanide, or a show trial that would doom his family. In those harrowing moments, Lucie's composure was remarkable. She consoled Erwin, shielded young Manfred, then 15, from the full horror, and facilitated a poignant farewell where Rommel reportedly said, "I shall be dead in a quarter of an hour." He donned his uniform, bid goodbye, and was driven away to ingest the poison. The official story of death from earlier wounds allowed a state funeral, with Hitler sending condolences, masking the truth. Lucie's silence in those immediate aftermath days saved them from execution. Her courage in that crisis moment underscores her as a pillar, turning personal devastation into family survival amid the regime's collapse.
After the war, Lucie confronted new battles. Allied occupation. Former Nazi sympathizers were vilified. Rommel's reputation risked being tarnished by association. Media claims. Rumors spread he was a willing Nazi executioner, not a critic of Hitler. Historical revision. Lucie gathered personal letters, diaries, and testimonies from veterans to set the record straight. Her key actions: donated papers to researchers who would write balanced biographies, gave interviews insisting on her husband's moral integrity, collaborated with former soldiers to record eyewitness accounts. Thanks to her, the first respectful biographies appeared as early as 1950, framing Rommel as a skilled tactician who opposed tyranny. In the ruins of post-1945 Germany, under Allied occupation, denazification trials scrutinized military figures, and Rommel's early ties to Hitler threatened to eclipse his anti-tyranny stance. Lucie, now a widow in Herrlingen, faced whispers in articles portraying him as a loyal Nazi, ignoring his chivalry and doubts. What drove her? A fierce determination to honor his memory. She meticulously collected his wartime letters. Over 400 survived. Diaries detailing ethical dilemmas and sketches of humane tactics. Donating these to historians like British Captain Basil Liddell Hart, she enabled the Rommel Papers in 1953, a compilation of Erwin's writings that revealed his inner conflicts. In interviews, such as those with Allied journalists, she emphasized Erwin was a soldier, not a politician. He despised the atrocities. Collaborating with Africa Corps veterans, she facilitated oral histories that highlighted his respect for enemies, like returning captured medical supplies. Her efforts countered Soviet propaganda, labeling him a war criminal. By 1950, books like Desmond Young's Rommel, The Desert Fox, emerged, portraying him as a principled opponent of Hitler thanks to her inputs. Imagine her poring over documents late at night, ensuring accuracy amid personal grief. This battle reshaped history, turning potential vilification into admiration, and her home became a repository for truth seekers.
Lucie's tireless work inspired books. Michael Carver's The Rommel Papers, 1953, compiled Rommel's own writings, many from Lucie's archives. Films, The Desert Fox, 1951, portrayed a heroic, conflicted general. Lucie insisted on script revisions to ensure historical accuracy. Each publication in production solidified Rommel's image as a principled soldier rather than a follower of Nazi ideology. Building on her foundation, the cultural impact was profound. While The Rommel Papers was actually edited by Liddell Hart, With contributions from General Michael Carver in later editions, it drew heavily from Lucie's preserved documents, offering Rommel's first-hand accounts of campaigns and critiques of Hitler's decisions. This book became a staple in military studies, humanizing him. In film, The Desert Fox, The Story of Rommel, 1951, starring James Mason, benefited directly from Lucie's consultation. She reviewed scripts, insisting on depictions of his family life and moral quandaries, ensuring accuracy over sensationalism. Jessica Tandy portrayed her, capturing her quiet resolve. Subsequent works, like the 1953 German film Rommel Calls Cairo and later documentaries, echoed this narrative. Books such as David Irving's The Trail of the Fox, 1977, and others built on her archives, debating his role but affirming his integrity. How did one woman's advocacy influence global perceptions? Through these media, Rommel entered popular culture as the Good German, studied in academies from West Point to Sandhurst, his tactics inspiring modern warfare strategies. Lucie's influence extended to her son Manfred, who in his memoirs further defended the legacy, emphasizing anti-Nazi sentiments.
In post-war Germany, Lucie lived quietly in Herrlingen, venerated by local residents. She received honors from veterans associations for her preservation efforts. Visitors came to see the family home that became a small museum. Her devotion ensured Rommel remained a subject of study in military academies worldwide. Lucie's twilight years were marked by quiet dignity in Herrlingen, where the family villa, site of Rommel's final days, became a pilgrimage spot. Local residents revered her as a symbol of resilience, often sharing stories of her grace under occupation. Veterans groups like the Africa Corps Association awarded her plaques and honors in the 1950s and 60s, recognizing her as the custodian of history. The home evolved into an informal museum with displays of Rommel's medals, letters, and photos, drawing historians and tourists. She welcomed visitors, sharing anecdotes like Rommel's love for photography or his humane orders. Until her death on September 26, 1971, at age 77, she continued advocating, ensuring his name evoked respect. Today, his tactics are taught globally, from U.S. military schools analyzing his mobility warfare to international symposia. Her legacy lives in Manfred's political career, promoting reconciliation. What a testament to one woman's impact, turning personal loss into enduring education.
Lucie Maria Mollin was far more than Rommel's wife. She was the guardian of his truth, battling rumors and politics to keep his honor intact. Without her courage and foresight, the Desert Fox's legacy might have been lost to the shadows of history. If Lucie's story moved you, hit like, subscribe for more hidden histories, and share this video so others can learn how one woman changed the way we remember one of WWII's most iconic figures. Thank you for joining this exploration. Remember, history is shaped not just by battles, but by those who preserve the stories. See you in the next video.